Hola, tasties and tastettes. Welcome to another episode of FTWGT Weekly. It's your boy Lenny, joined by the man himself, Dirty Water ENT, Dante. Hello.
Hey, yo.
How are ya?
What up?
How is everybody doing today? Hope you're doing well, enjoying whatever day of the week it might be when you're viewing this. Let's start off here. So we were just talking about tipping off screen, Dante, correct?
Yeah.
Did you see the video that came out this week of like the delivery driver? Like it was like what's the one where like Instacart maybe?
Okay.
They did like a bunch of grocery shopping for somebody, and when they got there they wouldn't release the food because the people weren't going to tip them.
Damn, no, I haven't seen that one, but that's kind of fucked up.
On what side?
Both, honestly.
I want to, yeah, because I think that's the controversy with it. I actually saw this from, you know, who's a popular follow of me on Twitter is Ice Cube's son, O'Shea Jackson.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
Sick.
he's a huge wrestling fan. So like that's primarily what he posts about. He posts about wrestling a ton.
So, can I just real quick to clarify? You said a huge follower of you?
No,
Do you
I'm
mean you're a huge follower of him?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
Okay.
I maybe he follows me.
I was like,
that'd
yo,
be
hold
cool.
on. O'Shea Jackson's your number one fan on Twitter?
That'd be dope, actually. I wish. But no, he posted something about it, and he was on the side of the Uber driver, or not the Uber driver, but like the Instacart driver,
Okay.
being like, I just spent like his opinion was like basically like I just spent like an hour of my time shopping through a store for you. I drove through traffic to get to you, and then you're gonna not offer me any money for the service like when I get there. So yeah, it's fucked up.
So, like, I agree with that, right? But at the same time, it's like, as elementary as it gets, two wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah, like
Sure,
they
you
are
did
not-
all that, but at the end of the day, you're still getting some form of payment through the app. It's not like you got completely gypped.
Yeah.
It's just you didn't get a tip. Big deal. Like, you know what? It happens literally all the time. On the flip side of that, I mean, are tips expected with Instacart? I've never used it before, but like...
But, well, it's just another delivery service, and I think since I was a little kid, it's been expected. I do wonder, so I was like a pizza driver for like...
So I guess my point is, though, right, is like, I'm used to like, especially like those app-based delivery services where you just tip in the app.
Yeah, but they didn't.
But like, even then, like, if I order Uber Eats or DoorDash, if I tip in the app, the driver doesn't know until they leave.
Maybe that app works differently. I don't know. Because you're like, I guess you're right. Because like Uber, I know like it doesn't ask you if you want a tip until after the driver's left.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do wonder often because I was a delivery driver for like 5 years when I was younger.
Yeah.
If like tips have changed, because I always like when I tip now, I still tip on the same scale. But like inflation's a real thing, right? So then I'm like, am I under tipping now? Are you
For
supposed
me,
to tip more?
tipping has always been a percentage.
But-
For anything like food service related, right?
I don't know if I agree with that though, because
I feel like I saw a thing recently though where it's like you tip differently based on the different services.
well, that's what I mean. Like delivery drive, when I was a delivery driver, right? Like the expectation was like $3 or more is a good tip. $3 or less sucked.
But at the
but
same
if you
time,
do-
if it was a $50 order, I'd be pissed if you gave me $3.
But why? I didn't make it.
It's
All I did was drive it to your house. That's why I don't think the scale works the same.
for me, the
when you're
ideal is it's
delivering.
supposed to be a percentage if I'm providing a
I understand,
service.
but like food now, dude, like a calzone, order like a large calzone now.
You're paying like $20.
More in
Well,
some instances.
that's $20 just for the calzone.
Yes.
Never mind to get it to you.
Like that's where I kind of think, and also like delivery fees are far more inflated now too than they used to be. So you never know what's going to the driver and what's not. But yeah, like that's why I don't think it's like I don't always follow the 20% rule when it's delivery with food, because like dude, like I could order $50 in food and order 3 things now very easily, and that's me giving a person like an $8 or a $9 tip. And like that's like they didn't even use close to a gallon of gas to get to my house. I think proximity that they're driving has to be taken into consideration. Time of day, maybe. But that's where I'm saying that like I don't know if the scale has changed, because when I was a driver, that's just how it worked. $3 or more was an acceptable tip.
In my head, food and drinks is still always going to be 20%.
But when you
but like
are,
there's different services you tip for too, right? Like if you go to a store and you have something carried out, like it's ideal to tip anywhere from like the $3 to $5, like you said, right? And that's regardless of the purchase price of whatever you got, whether you got, you know, $300 worth of groceries or you got like a $1,500, you know, piece of furniture or something like that, you know.
But that 20, okay, but like that, you just said the $1,500, like you don't trip 20% on that.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like that's
yeah.
different, but that's where I'm saying the 20% logic for me is specific to food and drinks.
Like the 20% logic comes from restaurants where you're not just tipping one person also. Like that tip might be split between the wait staff, that tip might be split with bus boys, things like that, bartenders. So that's where I understand 20% is a little different. Also, the level of service you get in a restaurant, you're communicating with that person multiple times, as opposed to the person who just like smoked weed on their way to your house, like jamming out to fucking music, and then got to your house and like literally handed you a box of food and then got back in their car and went on to the next one, you know. Like I just think there's definitely a different level of service there, but I do personally think that like not tipping somebody is unacceptable.
So I mean, for me, like, you know, if I'm ordering, you know, $40-$50 worth of food on DoorDash, I'm gonna tip the $8-$10. Like at the end of the day, at the end of the day, you know, $8-$10 isn't a ton, right? And like for them, it's gonna make it worth it. Like I generally am looking. I just probably spent, you know, 20 minutes to get to this restaurant, another 15 minutes waiting for them to make your food, and then another 15 minutes to get to you. And this app is only about to pay me $6. So now the 8 to 10 that you're tipping makes it worth it.
I think $5 is like the acceptable amount.
To each their own.
Like, but then I do struggle with the idea of like, what's the real difference between $5 or $6 and me giving you $8?
And that's kind of where I get to, especially like
$10 is a huge jump though.
I was gonna say, especially when you do it on DoorDash though, right? Like it always, I think, recommends like 15% or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And then if I bump 15, it up,
I think they give you 15, 18, 20.
Yeah, I think that's how it goes, or 10, 15, 20, something like that. But whenever it does that, right? Like I always bump it up to the 20, and then I see like the difference was like $2 or $3, and I'm like, whatever, like they can have that.
I bumped that shit down to 18.
Damn, you're a dirtbag.
You know what fuck shit my old boss used to do at the first pizza place I worked at? He used to charge a $2 or $3 delivery fee, and he would keep half of it. Like, motherfucker, you didn't deliver the food. Like,
it's his restaurant.
Like, it was crazy. Like, I don't know. Like, that led to me leaving there. I worked there for like a year and a half, and we were all supposed to get raises after like 6 months of working there that he never gave us because he was kind of struggling. And then, like,
I just feel like delivery drivers like that work directly for restaurants always get fucked.
We also did fuck shit to him, though, to be fair. Like,
yeah, I mean, you got to get even.
We would take slips. So like there would just be like your slips for all your deliveries. You'd come in and you put them on like a little peg stopper type thing, you know?
Oh yeah. Stab it.
And then they would add it up at the end of the night, and like you'd have your bank and you'd pay back what like you were supposed to get paid, and the difference is what you kept as tips. But because he was a scumbag and not paying us enough, what you would do is you would take some when he had to go to the bathroom or something like that, you'd take like a $20 order off of the thing.
Oh, you make them disappear.
Yeah. So
then with the bucks, I see y'all.
Yeah, so like because it's a cash business, so like he had no way he didn't fucking know. So you would just do that. Yeah. I also was like, I don't know, like that was also the most fun job I've ever had in my life because I had to care so little, and I was working with some of my best friends at the time. Yeah. So like it was just a party. Like Friday nights were like hilarious to work.
Yeah. I feel that.
It's an interesting conversation because we're obviously so reliant on these apps now. Like before, like when I was doing this, it was like the only options where you ordered from pizza places and got delivery. You weren't having like Cheesecake Factory brought to you or having somebody grocery shop.
Yeah, no, that was the crazy thing when DoorDash first came out was like, yo, I could order from like an actual restaurant now.
Yeah. Well, because I feel like it started with like chain restaurants having the curbside option, and that was way before.
No, it was before that. It was definitely before that.
Well, are you sure? Because I feel like Outback has had like a curbside option for
like their to-go
like a really long time now. And like that wasn't like that was you going to pick it up is what I mean. Like it kind of evolved from there. Like
actually, you know what? You might be right.
Like Chili's, Outback, like those places.
And Cheesecake Factory too. Actually,
they'd have their own dedicated. They'd have their own dedicated entrance just to like to go. And then it evolved to like, well, why can't I just have somebody else get my food for me?
Yeah. Like, at every restaurant you go to, they can package your order to go. So why can't I order it to go?
Yeah. Like, why do you have to add this like step of me actually being the one who goes there?
Yeah.
I've never actually done like, I don't know that I've done any curbside pickup at anything.
I know I've definitely done it at Chili's.
Okay.
Like,
maybe I've done it at Chili's.
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say. I feel like you have too. Like lunch break, just swing down there real quick. No,
definitely not that. I'm not getting Chili's for lunch, dude. Because
hey, bro, I'm just saying I had some broke weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say
15 I had some broke weeks, and the 3 for $10 was clutch.
But there's not enough. I don't eat enough to eat off of a 3 for $10 menu. I couldn't find 3 things to order.
Fucking the chicken tender things.
That's
chicken
one.
crispers. No, that's literally all I got.
You just got 3 orders of it?
No, not 3 orders of it.
But it's 3 for $10.
I know. I'd get the chips and salsa, the chicken tenders, the drink.
That's 2. They include the
or the drink was. Oh no, you know what it was? The third thing was a soup that I would throw away. You're right.
Never had soup.
Yeah.
I've never had soup. That couldn't have worked.
I couldn't put no soup, otherwise it invalidated it. So I'd order the soup and throw it away.
Well, okay, somebody's gonna cancel you for that.
What, you want me to ship it to Africa? Is that what we're gonna say? We're still on that argument?
Hey man, there's places closer who need that soup too, bro. Ship that down to fucking Montello Street, bro.
This motherfucker.
You don't have to go that far. Shit. Africa, dude. It doesn't have to survive the ocean to get there. You know what's crazy, Dante?
Yeah.
I have like some actual topics this week.
Do you? Because the way we started, I thought you didn't have shit.
No, yeah. I just kind of like starting with something that has nothing to do with anything else.
Okay.
and what that can be varies, like always, but
it's a fun like icebreaker almost.
Yeah, and it's generally like, to let the veil down a little bit, it's normally me and you talk about something for 10 minutes before we start to record, and it triggers something else in my head. Like, none of this is planned. Like,
yeah, no, I know.
I didn't plan a tipping conversation. It's just like we were talking about it, and it led to this other thing that was in my head, and I was like, well, that's a nice icebreaker.
Yeah. Usually we're just shooting the shit, and then just out of nowhere you see the light bulb go off in Lenny's head, and he's like, all right, record.
Yeah, let's go. Like, while this is still there. While the light's still working.
Just suddenly somebody turns the lights on.
Which one do I want to start on? Okay, let's start here. Have you seen the Wax Museum stuff at all?
You're going to have to elaborate on that one.
So I'm going to have you fill some stuff in the background here, but I'll have you look this up for right now.
Okay.
Look up, there's 2 different images that I've seen. There could be more. The Rock Wax Museum.
I hope this is Dwayne The Rock and not like rocks.
It's just rocks. So look at that picture. Like, click on that picture.
Okay.
There's a lot of controversy, and can you see why there might be controversy?
Because it doesn't actually look like him?
Yeah. There's one glaring issue. It looks more like Vin Diesel, is what I find.
It's like if they had a weird love child, yeah.
Like, it's The Rock with Vin Diesel's skin complexion.
Yeah.
Like, that's his. I think that's what The Rock has said something about this, maybe. I don't know if you can find that quote anywhere.
You think they put this together in the dark is the problem?
They just thought he was already. Anyway, he just looks like a jacked white dude.
I think I have the quote.
What is it?
So Johnson got into the conversation, posting on social media that he was going to have his team reach out to our friends at Grivin Museum in Paris, France, so we can work out updating my wax figure here with some important details and improvements, starting with my skin color.
Yeah. Yes.
By the way, the museum has said they are working on it.
What, are you going to spray paint him? What, are you going to give him a
They're
tan?
either going to spray tan it or they're just going to run around it with a torch and darken it up a little bit.
Oh, that's fucked up. It'll just start melting, dude. No. The other one I want you to look up is Lil Wayne.
No.
Yeah, Wheezy.
Oh, God.
And let's see if we can find. They put his quote like right in the top headline, but like some of it.
You tried though. Sorry, Wax Museum, but that shit ain't me. You tried though, and I appreciate the effort.
So, can you find the actual picture?
What the fuck?
The only thing they tried on was the hair and the tattoos.
Bro, no, they didn't try.
He looks anorexic.
They didn't try. That's not Lil Wayne.
It's crazy.
Honestly, if you didn't tell me that was Lil Wayne, I wouldn't even guess that's Lil Wayne.
It looks like an action figure version of Lil Wayne.
No, that looks like, I don't know.
Do you think that looks like Lil Pump?
I was going to say that just looks like some other up-and-coming rapper that I haven't heard about yet.
That's
Like, I
Lil
wouldn't
Wayne's
assume
son.
that's Lil Wayne. Yo, I saw this first picture and I was like, damn, no, they actually got it pretty right. No, that's actually Lil Wayne. All right, I get it now.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, like, here's what I'll give this place credit for. They created a conversation, right? Like, they are far more notable now.
But can you
than
give
if they
them
had
credit?
done
Because I don't think they made them intentionally bad.
But I don't care. Like,
Or I can't even say bad. This is a good figure, right? It's just inaccurate to who he is.
they would have never, like, nobody would have been talking about this place if they did good versions of these. Like, nobody talks about the wax museums that are, like, in Vegas and stuff like that, right? Like, people, I think, are happy to have themselves on display there, and tourists go and walk around. But you don't get a bunch of buzz off of it.
True.
This has got a little bit of buzz now. Like, I think people would go see this now because of how, like, I want to know how bad all the other ones are.
Any publicity is good publicity, right? Isn't that the thing they say?
Yeah, that's Controversy Creates Cash is another one. That's a book by Eric Bischoff. Can you see if there's any other, like, wax figurines that came from this place?
Let's see.
Because I'd be interested to know, like, that's why I would go. I would be like, are there other people, like, is David Beckham in there and is he ugly?
Is this an actual list?
I want to see the pictures, though. I don't know if I want to see the actual list.
Yeah, fair. There's a lot, though.
I guess I would have, like, I could have had you tell me some notable names, but
Ryan Gosling, bro.
yeah, like, did they make him ugly?
I don't know. That's where I gotta find pictures, I guess.
And do they have women? Because then if you fuck
Angelina
up
Jolie, I think I saw that one.
if you fuck up the guys, I gotta imagine you fucked up something real bad on the women.
Yeah, they get mad when you take a selfie from the wrong angle.
Yeah. I saw two girls outside of my job yesterday taking pictures up against the tree in the parking lot. Which is
I've been to your job. There's no glorious trees there.
It's recently landscaped, and I'll give them this credit. Like, the flowers look kind of nice, but you also have a big Best Buy logo in the background. I just outed that, but yeah.
Now the people know.
Who cares? I'm not saying negative things about them, so I can't get fired.
All right, you know what? The internet's not supporting me.
Can't find any. Well, there's something, right? Are those them?
That is Leonardo DiCaprio, I believe. But
All right,
that actually looks decent.
Your big ass dome's in the way.
Ah,
That's yeah,
it's not 100% spot on. It almost looks like they aged him a little bit, but
yeah, that looks about as good as I can expect it to.
yeah.
I don't really understand how, like, making a wax thing works.
Me neither.
You have, like, a 3D model and then you just, like, fill it with wax, I guess. But, like, the hair looks like real.
They might buy weave for it.
You said weed?
Weave.
Oh. Because I can imagine that person's high who is, like, making that. Is that Hugh Jackman on the right? Because if so, that looks terrible.
The fact that I can't tell and I know who Hugh Jackman is probably a problem.
Yeah, like, that. If that's not Hugh Jackman, that's bad. You have the biggest head in the world.
I think that's supposed to be Al Pacino.
Al Pacino. Yeah, that's not him.
I'm only going by the fact that they have the posters in the background,
Yeah.
but yeah, that doesn't. No.
Like, okay, here, I'll give them this. It looks close enough that you could tell who it is. Like, it's a fun game to be like, who did they attempt to make into this wax statue? Angelina Jolie looks pretty good.
You might be too far away.
What do you think's the problem with her? I mean,
It's something that's off.
It is fake.
No, it's just something that's off. Like, it doesn't. I think it might be the lips.
Okay, here's a fun game we should play. Maybe, like, the next time we have a guest, Dante. Is it a wax statue or is it AI?
What?
Like, you know how that's the new thing? Like, a million pictures of AI. Like, people, like, we have to know if we have to be able to guess, is it a wax figurine or is it an AI?
Oh, God. All right.
All right, well, that was a fun one.
Yeah.
That was a fun one. I hope they don't fix it. Quite frankly, I want them to just leave them as they are.
Honestly, it seems fun, but they did tell Dwayne, The
Well,
Rock.
They probably should fix both of theirs.
That's where I messed up, you know?
They also, just really quick, like, isn't art up to the interpretation of the artist? So, like, they should just come back and be like, fuck you, it's art.
I think when it's supposed to be impression work, it's judged on its accuracy.
Okay, that's fair. Okay. Next up, did you see they are talking about changing the name of the new Mission Impossible?
What, to Mission Improbable?
No, so it's still going to be Mission Impossible. But you know how the first one was called Dead Reckoning Part 1?
Oh, is this now not going to be a Part 2 at all?
They're not going to call it Dead Reckoning Part 2.
Love that.
Which is, like, that's very funny. Because now you're just going to have a Part 1 out and, like, never have a finality. Although, it's kind of cool because what if they come back to that name, like, 10 years from now? That's when we get Part 2.
Or they just fuck us up and just release Part 3 10 years from now.
I just wonder what you switch the name to. Like, so, like, I was thinking, like, Mission Impossible, like, I reckon you're dead.
No. If they're going to change it to that, they can leave it the fuck alone.
Do you think it's because the movie didn't perform as well as they wanted it to, and they think by calling it a different name that it'll help?
Maybe, but I don't see how. It's still Mission Impossible. It's still tied to the same franchise. Like, I don't think changing the sub name is going to really help it that much.
But then what's that headline literally agrees with me. Then because what else would be the point in changing it? Like, I don't think if that movie killed it this summer in the box office that they would have any reason to change the name.
Well, no, because then it'd have a good name to carry it through to the second part of success.
This, though, goes along with the idea of, like Hollywood not necessarily knowing why their stuff doesn't work. Like who told them that the name was the reason the movie wasn't successful? No, you dropped a week after the two biggest movies of the summer, essentially, dude. Like, that was or a week before, rather.
A week before,
like,
yeah.
That's your mistake. Your mistake wasn't a bad name. Not that I think Dead Reckoning was, like, a great name for a movie, but there are far worse things that could, like, I don't think Oppenheimer's a good name for a movie.
And I gotta imagine, like, a large part of that is like you set to release your movie in theaters and then later find out that another potentially bigger movie is coming out around the same time. Mm-hmm. Now how hard it is to change that date, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well,
you probably got all these deals and, you know, negotiations in place that it's a lot more work than just changing a date.
Well, generally movies do change dates a lot. Like there are plenty of movies that have changed a week or two difference because of other things releasing around it. I think the part that's, like, you have to remember with this is that this movie was supposed to be released sooner, but it was affected because of, like, the pandemic. So that's, I think, where these movies didn't want to move off of these dates so much.
So now it's like, how much longer do we want to wait?
We've already moved so many times that we don't want to keep pushing back the schedule, because also when you're calling it Part 1 and you want to release Part 2 a year later, it's really hard to be like, well, I'm going to push them back another 4 months or something like that, because now I'm pushing back the second one that much further. And now you have people promoting movies that are filmed 2 years ago. I just don't think it's as fresh in the psyche. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't think that changing the name, unless they have some clever name that they're going to come up with that'll get people into the theaters based on the name of a movie alone. Like, none of the other ones. So they didn't add monikers to those movies until the fourth one was when they started adding, like, subtitles to their movies, right? And I don't think that any of those subtitles were why people went and saw those movies. Nobody saw, like, the fourth one because it was called Ghost Protocol. No one saw.
If anything, those almost make it sound like cheesier spinoffs.
Yeah, like 6 was called Fallout. Like, what, like, I don't think that Rogue Nation, like, these names aren't, like, game changer names.
They're not selling points.
Like, Mission Impossible 1, 2, and 3 were just as good. Fast and the Furious, do you think that's why they sell? Because they became, like, 7 Fast. And
no, I think they were just having fun playing around with the name, and that was just an additional thing.
The only one that sells better is Too Fast, Too Furious, because, like, they're too fast for y'all.
Man. But I think that was also around the time where I feel like other movies were doing, like, that kind of, like, play on like the words in the title.
Cradle to the Grave.
Yeah. See, so
it's just using the number 2.
Yeah.
Is all that is.
But then like they came off of that and they were like, "Yo, that was dope. I want to do it again." But let's tame it down for a minute. This is Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. And then what did they call Fast 4? Was it just Fast? Furious. And then the next one was Fast or something like
Fast
that.
5.
Yeah.
And then Fast and Furious 6. And then 7 was just Furious 7. And then
Fate of the
Furious, which is like that's subjectively funny. That'll draw you in.
So it's just like they had a funny play with it, and I think it worked, right? Like it obviously wasn't something that drew people in, but it was almost like a talking point. Like, yo, did you see what they called this next movie?
Yeah, but like they only accomplished that with 8 because like, what was 9 and 10? What was the marketing? Can you pull up like the poster?
10 was just Fast X.
Yeah, that's a sexy title.
Yeah,
that's a very sexy title. What was it? Just F9?
Furious 9, maybe?
No, I think it was just F9.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah, that's not good.
No,
that's just a tab on a keyboard. Like,
I don't even know what that key does.
No, it's not even a good one. Like it's one that has no purpose.
Oh shit!
Like Fate of the Furious, funny name. Too Fast, Too Furious, just a very good name. All of the ones in between there, pretty lazy, right? Yeah. Like Furious 7, ugh. You know, Fast and the Furious 6. What? Like, I wonder, is it going to be is it going to be Fast 10 Part 2?
Well, I don't know. They might take a page out of Mission Impossible's book now and be like, "No, we can't do that."
Maybe you do, because it wouldn't look good. Is it Furious 11?
No, it's got to be, because isn't this supposed to be like a 3-part series? They were trying to make it its own thing, right?
Yeah, so then maybe it's Fast 10 Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3.
Fast 10, we furious now.
No, it's like Fast 10, you're furious now, because we're making you wait 2 years till the next one. And we left you on a fucking cliffhanger.
And get ready for another cliffhanger.
So continuing on with how things are performing, Spider-Man 2 came out this past week, and I would just be interested to know how that is doing. Are you playing the game?
I'm not. I actually do not currently own a PS5.
It's only out. This is actually I was trying to question this. Is it only out on PlayStation 5 right now?
Yeah.
It's not. Have they announced when it's getting a port to PC?
So they've never announced that in the past, but typically it's like a year or so down the line.
So do you think, this is like a separate question, and okay, let me backtrack. I'm not a fan of the first one. You were.
Yeah.
Did you 100% the first game?
I did.
Have you 100%ed a lot of games?
No, that was the only game I ever 100%ed, and it's mainly because I was told how easy it was, and I was like, let me get that one off.
Did you play Miles Morales?
I did not. By then, I didn't have a PlayStation any longer.
Those are on PC.
Yeah, that's recent though, and I just still it's at like $40, and it's still not worth it for me.
I think CD Keys has them on sale right now, but yeah, not much cheaper than that.
I won't do anything like CD Keys just because those are all like resellers, and it's kind of sketchy to me.
I've had good luck with them.
I've heard mixed reviews.
Really? Yeah, I don't love those kind of games just because, like, I've said this to you off camera before, but I just end up playing them like they're Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Like, I just explore the city, I get into a couple fights, and then I'm done. Like,
I mean, no wonder you find it boring, right?
Yeah, like, I just can't, like, the story is fun to a point, but it just takes too long to progress the main story at some points because you have to do, like, the side stuff, and I don't really want to do it.
And I'll give you that. Like, at least in the first one that I played, the story felt somewhat repetitive. Like, all right, I'm just going to go here, kick some ass, and then go here, kick some ass. And
that's my criticism of all open world games, not just Grand Theft Auto. I just think that they're the first one.
I think Grand Theft Auto holds a pretty strong story that doesn't feel as repetitive.
I disagree because I had to tow way too many cars that I didn't want to tow. Like, and we don't have to beat a dead horse on like the Grand Theft Auto thing because I think I've talked about it before. But I had to I rebought that game like 3 different times, and I remember
probably bought it more times than that.
The first time I ever played it, I got really far into the story, but then it didn't carry over when you switch from the next gen. So
I actually bought it 5 times.
oh my god, because in honor of it being GTA 5.
Not even. I mean, I got it on 360, and then a few months later, Xbox One comes out, and it's like, hey, buy it again. Hey, by the way, we added first person. I was like, yeah, I don't give a shit, but like now all my friends have Xbox One, so I gotta buy the fucking game again.
So like, my issue was I had it on 360. I beat most of it. Didn't want to replay all of the fucking story to finish the game.
I finished the story on 360, and then the cool thing was it let you carry your online character over. So like, that was the part where I played on Xbox One. But as far as finishing the story, I just finished it on my 360.
As far as Spider-Man is concerned, I tried it, didn't love it. I think I'm interested in playing this because it looks nice. But I do think the reason I'm trying not to buy it and give in to the urge is because I'm pretty sure I'll spend $70
to do the same exact thing
to
you did
play
with the first
it
one.
for a week and get bored.
Yeah.
But can you tell me, like, I think it was last I saw it was like 2.5 million copies sold or some crazy shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting here.
That's a lot.
Oh, 2.5 million copies sold in the first 24 hours.
Holy shit.
When did this game come out?
Friday?
Shit. So it's got to be higher than that now, but I'm not seeing anything with the current number.
I know that we were sold out of the game itself. We had a bunch of the consoles, but sold out of the game itself pretty quickly.
Oh, they released a Spider-Man version of the console too?
Yeah, they released the Spider-Man version of the console a few weeks ago.
Okay.
But the game didn't release with it.
Gotcha.
They released it ahead of time. Is this something that would make you buy a console?
No. Exclusive titles wouldn't be enough of a reason for me to go back to console. There'd have to be like some big, like, you know, like feature or performance difference or something like that. Like, honestly, the PSVR has been kind of enticing. I've seen a lot of good stuff with the PSVR too.
Well, there's a new PlayStation coming out in December.
Yeah, but it's probably just going to be like a slim console, so it's still the same shit.
It's a slim console. I think they increased the cost of the digital on it. Here's something stupid. So they're going to come out with a digital version, right? And it's going to cost $450 instead of $400. And then there's an attachment that you can buy to play discs.
No, get the fuck out of here.
What is that?
Get the fuck out of here. What?
Isn't that nuts?
And tell me this attachment is $50.
Something like that. It might be more. Honestly, can you look that up? Because I think it's more. I think you'd have to pay more. And the only reason I could think that somebody would do that is because, like, the console's already obnoxious, so like it's more obnoxious when they add the disk drive into it. But is it that much slimmer? That looks like the same console.
The same, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
I'm just curious about the pricing.
Like, look where the disc tray is. PlayStation notoriously has had the ugliest consoles. You do agree on that? What, like, in the scale of sexy consoles, you think
PS2 was pretty fire.
Okay, but PS3 was gross.
Oh yeah,
PS3 was gross. PS4 was okay.
Yeah. PS1 and PS2 though, they killed it.
Okay, so they just fell off the fucking rails by the year 2005.
I'm just saying, like, PS1 was like, damn, that's dope.
And
the
Vita
PS2,
was nice.
I was like, yo, y'all are killing it. And then PS3 was like, all right, y'all switch design teams, huh?
Whereas like Xbox, the original Xbox was gross. It was
massive, yeah.
But 360 was sexy. That was a sexy console. Xbox One and all the later generations, except for maybe the One X, like the newest one, where it looks like a small mini fridge, kind of. They have all been pretty nice, aesthetically at least.
Trying to still find the price for. Oh, the disc drive will be sold separately for $80.
So you can have your PS5 digital slim plus add a disc tray and pay more than you would to just buy the one with the disc tray. That's ass backwards.
Yeah, because the one with the disc drive is $4.99. So
yeah, they didn't change the price.
It's like, if you didn't want to get the disc drive the first time around, give us an extra $30.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
How's that for buyer's remorse?
It's also funny that it just runs on USB, and the fact that you couldn't just buy a regular disc drive.
It doesn't look like it runs in a USB. I don't know if you can see this picture here, but it looks like you take a cover off and clip it into the side.
Oh my god, so it's gonna look ugly as fuck to add that on. You're basically just adding on the literal disc tray that you would have gotten with.
Yeah. So they'd look identical at that point, but you paid an extra $30 if you didn't get the disc tray the first time around.
You know why they're doing that? Well, think about when they're releasing it. They're releasing it right before Christmas, right? So you have these parents that can't get the one with the disc. That are going to
try and compromise on price.
I don't even think it's that. Availability, even.
Oh,
like, think about it. If the disc one's not available, the digital is, and they just want to get their kid something under the tree. So then the parents have to come back 3 months later and buy the disc thing for more money.
I mean, at the end of the day, add-ons just make the companies more money. So it just
that's
makes
where
sense.
all the profit is. Yeah. So like they're going to clean up on that. Do you think, and last thing on this topic, do you think that Spider-Man is going to be a game of the year?
Probably.
What else? Can you look up like top games that have come out in 2023? Maybe it's like a good Google search.
What do you got to imagine? Like something like Hogwarts is on there, right?
Yeah. I mean, you didn't finish that.
I actually did finish it recently.
Oh, congrats. Anything?
I got the biggest games coming, but I don't have the best video games of 2023 so far.
It just feels like calming.
Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty? What the fuck? They come out with like a spin-off of it?
I know that there's been huge updates and like Cyberpunk's actually a playable good game now.
All right, I don't know if I can go by this list. I don't even
know
Mortal Kombat. Yeah, Mortal Kombat, right? But like this one here, Lies of P. What the fuck is that?
No idea.
Never heard of it. Starfield, that just came out, but
people like that, right?
Yeah. That's like a Fallout, Skyrim kind of thing, but in space, right?
Yeah. That could be a game of the year type game. I still think Spider-Man probably edges that out.
I don't know. I think they get pretty close.
But volume of sales, dude, like I think that has to come into consideration when you're talking game of the year.
True. I mean, I guess Spider-Man did break fucking records, right?
Couldn't you just imagine like 7 months from now the game of the year edition of Spider-Man? Like that
I never
feels
understood
like
those.
It.
Were those any different, or is it just
they generally
case
just
that tells you it's a game of the year?
They generally it might have like a special cover, like a different cover, and then I think they might include some DLC. You know, like you get whatever like the DLC that's come out to that point, include it with it.
Oh, another one, Diablo 4.
Not our type of game. I don't.
Not our type of game, but I know that one got a lot of buzz.
Yeah, popular. I know some people who played it a lot.
Street Fighter 6.
Not going to win a game of the year.
No.
I think Mortal Kombat might because of the visuals. Like, I don't know if you've watched anything from that, but it was a lot like it looks a lot like a movie, the way the cinematics are. Zelda could be in the running, I guess.
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom. Resident Evil 4, that's a re-release, so does that count?
No, I don't think that
I don't think that gets to go in the running, right?
Yeah, to me it doesn't at least. And our vote is heavily weighted in the gaming community.
All right, I'm not recognizing a lot of these games now, so
it's basically going to be like Spider-Man, Diablo, and Starfield.
Probably, yeah.
That'll come down to, and I think it's more like, I mean, Diablo actually, that's like a nerd heaven type game.
That has a huge cult following.
Yeah, so that could be up there. And like those games are very dense, like in like the playability. Like people put a lot of hours into them.
Yeah.
Whereas like Spider-Man, you're going to play the storyline.
You're probably going to do a couple side quests along the way, and then once you beat the main storyline, you're going to swing around for a little bit, and then that game's going to sit and collect dust in the corner of your room.
But I think it's like the scale of like, okay, you get to play as both characters now. Like you're playing as Miles and as Peter. Yeah. Which is cool. I think you also play as Mary Jane. Okay. So that's pretty sweet. And then you have this, like it plays like a movie, right? So I do think games like that always perform well.
Fair. For me, it's hard to be sold on the $70 value on a game that I'm going to pick up, play through the story, and then put it down and never pick it up again.
$70 is a hard price tag, I think, for anything these days. To me,
but like games. If it was something where I had like replayability, like the online aspect of it really, made it so I could play it for like a while, then at that point, $70 doesn't seem so bad. But if it's just resting solely on the strength of the story, give that shit to me for like $30, $40.
The only opposition I'll give you is that the games that I've loved the most in my life, the things that have stuck with me the most, are single-player games.
Right. Like, if they have a really good, captivating storyline, right, like it's probably more enjoyable. But still, as far as the value, I think replayability is a huge factor.
At what point do you think games price themselves out? Because I think $70 is pushing it.
And they're just going to keep jumping up each generation with inflation. So, like, by the time we have next gen, they're going to be $80 a game. That's
like,
just how the game's been
I
going.
can't envision a world where I would ever pay that much for any game.
Yo, bro, you don't remember? Like, PS2 games used to be $40 brand new.
Yeah. And, like, so, like, I was cool with 60. Like, 70, I don't think I've bought any game for $70 yet. I think they've broken my price barrier.
I bought Hogwarts, but I think I caught a sale.
Because I just bought Madden, but, like, I wouldn't buy Madden for $70. I knew if I waited a month, like, they'd eventually do their first sale on it, so I got it for, like, 45 or 50.
Actually, you know what? I know a game you and I both paid 70 on.
What?
We bought Call of Duty last year.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. But you got a lot. I'll give them this. Like, they at least had both the BR and the full game included, but that's also robbery when you think about the fact that the BR was free prior to that.
Yeah, but we played a good amount of multiplayer, so I say we got our replayability value out of it.
I didn't play the story at all, but I know like they also had a story.
That's fucking hilarious because I also didn't play the campaign, and that's usually one of the better parts of those games for me.
I haven't played a campaign since like Call of Duty 4.
Dude, that was the best one.
Yeah, that's why why I'm just gonna be disappointed.
I mean, honestly, Modern Warfare 2, you know, what was it? No Terrorists or whatever, the fucking airport mission. That was so controversial.
I thought that you were saying that was the name of a Call of Duty.
No,
Call of Duty 2, no terrorists.
No. No, they all have terrorists.
Yeah. They've kind of killed their market with that one. He just says it's just a cop simulator. It's Battlefield Hardline.
They should honestly do that.
Dude, did you play Hardline?
I did.
I loved the story for Hardline.
I don't remember it, to be honest. I remember a little bit of like the gameplay and just like the play style, and I thought it was all right.
I've talked to you about this recently. Like, I've been really into like the role play servers for GTA. Like, I think that and I know
Do you own GTA on PC?
No.
So you'd have to buy it for what, a third time?
No, fourth or fifth. And at this point, it would only cost me like $20. Like, that thing goes on sale for pretty cheap.
Yeah, I think it's like 20
nowadays.
or $30. Honestly, there was a point earlier in the year where it was actually a free game of the month with Epic.
I have actually been tempted to play it, but I don't like. I'm sure that game's 100 and something gigs, and also,
oh yeah, it's a lot.
I know myself at this point to know that I think that this is a good idea, but in all actuality, I would not care.
It actually is pretty fun. Like basically you download the core game, right? And then you download a separate thing called 5M, and that's like the launcher for all the different like custom servers. And because of all the different servers and there's like different mods, it's almost like a different game in each server. So it is kind of fun.
Yeah,
it's definitely worth the $20-$30.
One of the things that killed that game for me was the base version of online gameplay.
Yeah, no, I can never go back to that, but the RP servers and stuff are fun.
Yeah, I mean, I might fuck around with it. When it do they have a date for GTA 6 yet?
No. I know there was something where actually I think Rockstar was supposed to announce it this month. Because all the leaks that were coming out, they said like they forced their hand.
You have a computer in front of you. You don't need to use your cell phone.
You saw that, huh?
Yeah. That actually, to be fair, like I talk shit on GTA, but I would pay $70 for GTA 6. Because I think that the world is that vast, and I would feel good enough about like just exploring it for a few weeks that it would feel justified to me.
It's funny. I'm seeing all these different rumor pages that are telling me it'll be unveiled yesterday, and apparently it didn't.
Yeah, okay.
But then I'm seeing something about a financial report leaked that said it's gonna release in 2025.
That's fucking crazy. That's actually a great segue, Dante. So Spider-Man 4, they have announced that it is going to be released in 2024, and how do you feel at this point? Because we talked about it a little bit earlier with Fast and the Furious, right? Like, would you rather at this point that they didn't tell us release dates that were 2 years in advance for things?
Yeah.
I think I'd rather be surprised.
I miss the days of like where you wouldn't hear about a movie coming out until it was coming out within the next 8 months.
You'd see a trailer for it and you'd be like, exactly. Oh shit, that's coming out?
Yeah.
Like, that's a way better feeling.
I miss that versus now it's like, Oh, cool. You'll get this movie in like 2 or 3 years. Look out for the fucking teaser trailer in like a year.
In like 2024 isn't that far away, obviously. Like,
no, like that's a fine time, right?
But like, if it's November of 2024, it's like, dude, I'd rather find out when you drop the trailer in fucking July.
Yeah.
For it, you know, like that's my gripe at this point. Yeah, it's like it almost diminishes my excitement level for like a GTA 6 with this idea that like, fuck, I like 2 years from now is when you're telling me that shit's coming out. That's a long time. Just don't tell me. Also, the fact that like, I mean, credit to them that they still have such a huge fan base, and what the game came out in 2013. The 5.
I think so. Yeah.
Sounds about right, right? Like that. Like credit
can't
to
be that
them.
far off. Yeah, 2013.
Yeah, credit to them that they have gotten that much run out of a game.
I thought the next gen release for that game was a lot closer, but apparently the 360 version came out in September of 2013, and then the next gen was a year later in November of 2014. I thought it was a lot closer. I thought they were like 6 months apart.
Yeah, I thought it was only a few months. Because I remember, like,
time isn't real.
I remember I worked both the release of that game and I worked the release of the console when it came out. And, like, that was when gaming was still, like, fun. Not, like, video games are fun still, but, like, that's when, like, you would do midnight releases.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know for the next gen one, I went to a midnight release at GameStop, actually, and it was cool. Like, you know, everybody was vibing out in the line. They had people coming through the line giving out merch. I got like a fucking GTA 5 Zippo lighter.
When did GTA 4 come out? 6?
I feel like it wasn't that far before that.
GTA, maybe, 8.
2008, yeah.
So
I remember that coming out when I was in high school.
They went from a 5. I mean, and I guess this just goes to the credit of like the change in online gaming.
Yeah, they're still making money on online. So like, why do they need to release another game when they can just release updates and get you to pay for it?
Have they updated the world though? Like, is the world bigger now?
No. So the world is the same exact size.
Like, what do they update? The vehicles and stuff like that?
They give you new vehicles. They give you new like building things that you can own. Like I know like the nightclubs and stuff were like an update. The casino was actually an add-on. With the heist and everything.
Own a casino?
You can't own a casino, but you could buy a penthouse in a casino.
Can you run a casino?
No.
Can you play? You just play in the casino.
Yeah. Maybe that's another update that's coming. Maybe you can own the casino.
Okay. You'd be like a Navajo Indian.
Nah, I'm not a
hoe. Yeah, okay. So like 2024 for Spider-Man 4, it just feels a little far out for me at this point. Couple more topics left. Did you ever see the movie Spawn?
Nah. I'm actually not even familiar with the premise of it.
I think you should, like homework.
Oh,
Can you look up Spawn, like the original one? And then I also want you to tell me, there was an article that I read that I wrote no notes down about a new one coming out that I think Blumhouse is going to be making. And they said that they want that to be like their like superhero movie, essentially, like their franchise, like a dark superhero franchise. But I want you to tell me what streaming service the original Spawn is
on. Looks like you're gonna have to rent it.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That movie's hilarious.
Really?
Yes, it's very good. It's like campy good in a way, but
wait. You might not have to rent it.
Michael Jai White and John Leguizamo.
Leguizamo?
Yes. Of Mario and Luigi and the movie Empire. His most notable roles.
Okay.
But yeah,
find like a synopsis.
The original was like super dark. Like look at the visual effects. You saw him like
like very 90s.
But like great for the 90s at the same time, I think.
Yeah.
Like very clean CGI for the 90s. Do you got a synopsis for you?
Oh yeah, it's a short one.
What
An elite mercenary is killed but comes back from hell as a reluctant soldier of the devil.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have the article for the new one? Does it give any details?
Headline: Jason Blum says Spawn reboot will be the Blumhouse version of a superhero movie. It's going to be edgy and original. It's basically what you said.
I don't think that it could be original if it's
a reboot. Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah, it's like kind of a redundant statement, sir. Do they have like a release date for that? Probably like 2025.
That's what I'm scrolling for. I think all we got is they announced they're working on it, but we don't have a release date now.
Well, I'm interested in it. I'm pretty interested in it. I only had one more topic, and it was a topic of discussion I wanted to bring up, which has nothing to do with Spawn, Spider-Man, or anything else we've talked about, really.
Okay.
But it's still pop culture related. Have you noticed the cost of concert tickets now? Like, we did a segment a few weeks back with Taylor Swift and, like, Beyonce. But have you noticed, like, the increased cost in concert tickets?
I think the resale value has gone crazy through the roof.
No, original price.
The original
Not
price?
even resale. Regular price of tickets. There's 2 concerts that I want to go to, or, like, that I'm interested in going to right now, that minimum tickets are, like, $350.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And they're 2 very diverse options. So a friend of mine, because Blink-182 just announced a tour, a summer tour.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that.
And they're going to be playing Fenway. And if I want to go, he has a ticket for me that's $350.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's tough.
And then this one is way more, like, it's pop culture very big, but for me and you probably off the beaten path, but I'm a big fan. And I've talked about it on here. I really like Olivia Rodrigo.
Okay.
And I think she's somebody I'd really like to see live because I think she's a very good performer. Like, I enjoy the music. It's not really music for me, like a Taylor Swift or whatever, you know, like not relatable to me.
Are you saying Taylor Swift's music is more for you?
No, I'm saying not for, like, just like Taylor Swift. Like, their music's not relatable to me as a person, but I appreciate them as performers. Like, I enjoy watching Olivia Rodrigo, like, live performances. Like, I think she sounds really good. And I think her, like, vocal, like, her music style is very good. It's just the lyrical content, not necessarily written from me, a mid-30-year-old man, where she is a 20-year-old girl.
Fair enough.
You know?
Fair enough.
I just appreciate the artistry of it.
All right.
So I was looking at her concert tickets because she's doing, like, a arena tour now. And it sucks because like, 2 years ago, she was doing, like, clubs, which would have been awesome to say I saw her in, like, a club atmosphere. But now, to see her in an arena and sit in the fucking balcony, minimum tickets for by yourself, $380. Like, for a single ticket is the cheapest one that's not obstructed view.
See, that's one of those things where I was like, damn, you know what? Maybe I could go to one of those concerts. But then you say the price, and it's like, nah, that's just not worth it for me.
Yeah, they price you out. And I'm sure it's because they're attacking, like, a hardcore fan base, too. But those aren't resale tickets. Like, that, maybe these ones are, but, like, that's not, like, the Blink-182 ticket is not a resale ticket. That is a...
I just know typically whenever you're looking at tickets on, like, Ticketmaster or SeatGeek or what have you,
you can
those
filter
are all
by
resale
not.
prices.
You can filter on Ticketmaster by not resale.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. It'll tell you if it's a resale or if it's original ticket. Yeah, like, I think part of it is the scale of these artists. Like now pop or major artists, and I think Blink-182, while not a pop act necessarily, although pop just means popular, you know.
Yeah.
But they can just price their tickets at this much, and they know that their hardcore fan base, like, people were paying legitimately $1,000 for Taylor Swift tickets, right? You know, so if they know that that's going to be the possibility, that it's like your tickets are only worth as much as somebody's going to pay for it. So just do that. And they're going to rake in a ton of fucking money, and good for them. But yeah, I think it makes it hard for, like, I probably will never see her live because if tickets are $300 and something now, they're never going to get cheaper. The only way you probably see them for cheaper is if you go to a festival, and you might still pay $300, but you're paying to see, you know, 25 artists instead of one. But what is the cap for you? And this is kind of where I was going with this. So I could have seen Blink-182 like 3 months ago when they were touring, when they did their first comeback tour here. Yeah. And I just didn't do it because I didn't have the money at the time, and, like, I could have gone for like $225. And to me, like, I couldn't justify a 2.5 or 3 hour concert with limited, like the ticket that I would have gotten to sit in that seat was limited visibility.
So I think for me, right, if it was just like, oh, hey, I kind of like this artist, I want to check him out live, like, I'm probably cool anywhere 150 or less, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's an artist I really, 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 really love, like, I'm probably willing to go up to like 300 max.
I think that's probably fair. I've been, because I've obviously been thinking about this a lot. Like, even with the Olivia Rodrigo thing, like, if you plan ahead of time for something, right? Like, if you know that this concert's in April and that you have 5 months to prepare for it, like, you don't have to buy the ticket for like today to buy it. I could maybe make it worth it to myself, you know, to say like, okay, I throw aside $50 this month, $50 next month. Like, you know, I have 3 months.
See, the problem with that for me, right, is then I have all the money together and it comes down to buy the ticket and it's like, fuck, am I really about to spend $350 on this?
Yeah. Also, I don't know where you stand on going to concerts by yourself. Like, I've done it once now.
I've never done it.
And like the
I'm not opposed to it, by the way. I want to be clear on that. I've just never done it.
The Olivia Rodrigo one by myself seems a little tough.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, Olivia Rodrigo solo would be kind of crazy though.
Right, like that's the thing I'm struggling with right now is like the torn between just being like, fuck it, I don't really care. Like, because the one thing you obviously have to get over with going to anything, whether it's movies, like, I mean, I saw Barbie by myself, so I kind of equated to a similar
That's another one I probably wouldn't have done by myself.
But like, realizing it's a fucking movie or it's a concert.
And I guess, honestly, we're kind of getting to that age where it's like, fuck what people think.
Well, like, I'm not going to see these people ever.
Yeah.
None of these people are even looking at me.
Yeah.
You know, like, they don't even notice that I'm there. Like, I mean, the concert I went to by myself, that wasn't weird, like, a few months ago, like, I thought it was going to be awkward. And it was a little awkward in the sense that, like, I'm sitting next to people that, like, I'm not going to talk to the whole time, you know? So you're kind of just like chilling on your phone in between stuff.
See, you say that's awkward. I find comfort in that. I'm like, fuck, I'm not obligated to socialize with anybody. I just get to sit and vibe out.
But then why is it like that much weirder other than the fact that, again, like I said, I'm a mid-30-year-old man at a concert. Like, that's probably going to be a lot of like tweens.
It's funny that we're talking about doing shit by yourself, because weren't we just talking the other day about going to bars by yourself?
Yeah, I mean, but like we've both done that, right?
Yeah,
like that's not like a weird one necessarily either.
I think it depends on the bar, but like, yeah,
I think it's weirder with the concert one because you're in a venue with 20,000 people or like 15,000 people, you know, and you're just kind of like the one person by yourself that sticks out in the crowd because you're a lot different than a majority of the rest of the crowd.
I think there's still a lot of things that are socially acceptable socially acceptable, never mind, but just okay to do by yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I've gone out to eat by myself, like sit down, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Because, like,
that's fine.
I best believe I'm singing Driver's License. Like, like, that's the thing. I'm like, dude, like, there's some of those songs that
I thought it'd be good for you.
Like, I'd vibe hard if she was, like, if I got to see her perform them. Traitor, dude, like, I'd be all in it.
Oh, you're a stan.
Oh, I am, dude. Like, I've been listening to her new album a lot.
Yeah,
and I love it. Yeah, Guts, really good.
I haven't listened to any of it, but I might have to give it a listen.
Both Sour and Guts, like, I think are fantastic albums. Yeah. All right. So let's get into what we are watching, what we're gonna be watching. We got to come up with a clever, probably tagline for this.
For what
thing that
we
talk
watching?
About every week. Yeah.
Oh, you want to have like some like fun, corny name for it?
Yeah, maybe you can have a graphic that comes up.
Ooh, okay.
For it, that'd be nice. Like maybe up on the screen here. Do you have the most to talk about here? This is more a week where I don't have a ton to talk about, so the floor is yours, my friend. I know you have some flowers to give here, so I want to give you your time.
All right, sure. So I'll start off with saying I came on here a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about reboots. And as far as the reboot of the Fresh Prince series, Bel-Air, I told the people, our audience, that I heard it wasn't good. And then I watched it. And I want to let you guys know I think otherwise. I think that show is great. But I can also see where I would have heard it wasn't good. the original show, Fresh Prince, is a show that a lot of people love. And this, while it is kind of a reboot of that, it's entirely different. And I think the difference is it's like it kind of takes you away from it if you're trying to expect the same thing. So the original show is more of a sitcom, whereas this is a drama. And so like the similarities of the show are basically like if the person that came up with the original concept comes up to a completely different team and says, hey, this is the premise, do what you want with it. So it has the same basis that, like, you know, Will gets into some trouble in West Philly and has to get sent over to stay with Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil in Bel Air.
Could you do what I asked you to do before and describe this in the way of the song, please?
So this is a story all about how his life got flipped and turned upside down.
He got into a fight.
With a gat.
Wow. So his mom for sure got scared.
Yeah.
Where'd they move to?
With his auntie and uncle in Bel Air.
Oh.
But, yo, he didn't whistle for a cab.
Really?
He hit for an Uber.
Damn, okay.
And when it came near...
Mad 2023.
The cabbie was Jazz. That's how they met. But yeah, no, I mean, like, besides, like, the character names and that basis, like, it's still a very different show, but it's very good. I enjoyed it a lot.
I think the reason it's going to be found as bad is not bad, but like not loved as much as, first of all, like Will Smith is an icon. I think is probably fair to say.
I gotta say that was probably the toughest part for me. Is the main character? They're still calling him Will Smith.
Yeah, and like he's not.
And I'm like, no, that you're not.
You don't have like the swag that like no matter how hard
you
that
can see
kid
where
tries.
he tries, and I want to give him his flowers, right? Like you can see where he tries, and I think he's a good actor. But you're not Will Smith.
Mm-hmm. Also, when you take a show that spanned so many emotions, right? Like the original. It was able to be very funny, but also has these moments like the Uncle Phil and him moment, right?
Yeah, why you ain't want me?
Yeah, like that's like it has those moments that did like make you feel something, right? It was able to hit all those emotions so well for a long period of time to then come out with a show that, from an outside perspective, because you watched it, I have not, that I think is mostly a melodrama, right? Like it's got some comedy, but it's mostly more of a...
It almost takes itself more serious. Yeah.
It's a more soapy version of the Fresh Prince.
Yeah, I give you that.
And I think that that's where you're going to lose a lot of audience that feels like you either, A, don't understand the core material that you were sold, but also...
Actually, the best way I could put it, in terms of like how it's similar to the original show, is the original Sabrina to the Sabrina spinoff.
Yeah.
That's how similar they are, right? Like they have the same concept, but they're entirely different.
Yeah, and I don't know what's better there, because I think that it's more palatable to me. The Sabrina reboot was more palatable because it's a completely, I don't know, like that's more supernatural and has something else to latch onto, as opposed to this just being kind of a soapy show that doesn't have the things that people loved about the original. I don't know. Like I understand. I think it's a good analogy. I just don't know if it's still the same to me necessarily. Yeah. And again, maybe I just need to watch it to really have this opinion or not. But it's just speaking from a person who didn't watch it and is probably in the category of people who is like, this is why people didn't, is like, it just doesn't look like it's got like the flair that the original had.
It doesn't have the same aura that the original show had. It's definitely an entirely different thing.
Yeah.
But like it has some, you know, modernized takes on the characters and the differences in the way they you know, are challenged through the world, and I still found it very interesting and I enjoyed it.
So who else are you giving roses to?
So I don't know if this was the same episode. No, it was the episode before that when we ranked the streaming services. And I said, I don't know why anybody renews Apple TV.
Yep.
And then we were on here last week with D, and he told us why. And I got to give him his flowers. He was right.
Give this man his credit.
Nah, he deserves that. He really deserves his credit, because I've been on Apple TV and I have not put on a single thing that I've hated so far.
That is huge credit to Apple for that.
Yeah. One thing I gotta say too is I've noticed like I haven't obviously watched a million and one things. Like I just started watching this like maybe a week or two ago, but most of their series they're just 10 episodes per season, and so I think that makes it a lot more easy to like binge or to indulge on when it's not like an overwhelming amount of episodes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I hate when I'm like reading a synopsis. I'm like, oh, this sounds interesting. Let's pop in and see how much we got here. And it's like, oh, we got 9 seasons, 23 episodes per season, hour-long episodes. And I'm just like, fuck. Do I really want to dedicate that much of my life to this right now?
That's a gift and a curse, right? Because it is nice to just have something that
it's
you know
good
you're
if it's
coming
good,
home.
right? But then on top of that, it's like if I was planning on watching anything else, now this is consuming all my watching time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Now I don't have energy to watch anything else.
So how many of these shows have you banged out now?
Let's see. 3. 3, yeah.
Are any of them the ones that D talked about?
One is.
Okay.
So I did watch The Changeling. That was actually the first thing I watched on there.
And remind me which one that one is.
So that was the Supernatural movie. Let me find the plot just because I'm not good at summarizing things.
Is this the one where the daughter gets like taken or something like that, or like the wife or something like that?
Yeah, it was like I don't want to give away too much, and that's why I'm trying to look up the plot so I can give you something without blowing it.
Mm-hmm.
Set in an alternative New York City, a father and husband searches through a magical world for his abducted son and missing wife.
Okay, son, not daughter. Okay.
Yeah, but basically, like, if you know, like, fantasy lore or whatever at all, like, Changeling is basically when a fairy swaps out a baby at birth. So the whole premise is his baby's missing.
But he didn't get one swapped out?
No, like, he
knows it's not his baby. It
gets discovered that it's not his baby. And
got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So one thing
but you know what's crazy? I'm sorry to cut you off real quick. It's just like this show has a supernatural premise, but it doesn't really throw any supernatural shit in your face.
So it feels very grounded still?
Yeah, that like it doesn't lean heavily into the fantasy stuff. There's not a crazy amount of special effects. It relies solely on the storytelling for the most part.
I think one of the biggest appeals that Apple TV has going for it is its production level.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering across all 3 shows, because let alone the actors that they have found to do these shows, but do you feel a quality difference in the production with their shows?
So yeah, this definitely feels like something that takes itself more seriously than like your Netflix original. You know what I mean? I love bashing Netflix, so of course I'm going to use that as an example. But
I think they're going up to $21.
Yeah, they are. Or 23, I think I saw.
Dickheads.
Yeah. Fuck them.
Price themselves right out.
Yep. But like we talked about it before where it's like it feels like watching a cable TV show versus like a HBO show kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like these have like that clear elevation and production level that just feel a lot more finished.
I think that's a major selling point for me, is even just looking at the trailer that's kind of playing on a loop here. Like everything looks very clean.
Yeah, it looks like more movie-like, right? Like more cinematic.
Yes. So what are the other 2?
The other one was Seth Rogen show, Platonic.
Don't know it.
I didn't know it either. I was just reading through synopsis and was like, whatever, I can throw this on. I don't really have much to say about it. It was all right. It wasn't anything that like blew my socks off, but it's basically a rom-com that's like a series.
Who plays his opposite? Because I'm a huge fan of The Long Shot, which is a Seth Rogen rom-com.
Yeah.
Very big fan. It's one of my favorite rom-coms. So I'd be interested who plays his opposite in this. Rose Byrne. She's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, like they were good. Like there was definitely like fun moments in the show.
You might have sold me just because I can't find like modern rom-coms anymore, really. Like it's just not a popular genre for quality. So like that's something that could get me into it.
Yeah, no, it was fun. It was like a light, easy watch. Nothing crazy, but it was enjoyable.
1 season, 2 seasons?
1 season, 10 episodes.
Finality, or is it going to go on?
It seems like it's going to go on.
Okay.
So let's put it this way. It has finality. Like if it ended there, it's fine, but it could also continue.
I might check this one out, but I don't know if I'll subscribe to the streaming service. I might just see if it's available for me to buy the series outright.
Yeah.
Like the season. Okay.
Third show was actually the most recent one I finished up, Swagger. So
no one on the block got Swagger like. Swagger like.
This one was with your number one Twitter follower.
O'Shea?
Yeah.
Shit. O'Shea's the man, dude. O'Shea is the man.
Yeah. I actually didn't even know this. I'm reading the plot right now, and it says inspired by Kevin Durant's youth basketball playing experience on the AAU circuit.
Interesting.
So I didn't know it was inspired by KD, but basically that's what it is.
Using
it's like
his nickname, like you fucking follow him.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah.
You know?
What teams has he played for?
Some of them.
Oh, nice.
You like that? Yeah.
Yeah, good way.
Yeah, no,
good
that's where my knowledge ends. All right, way to put me on the spot. Appreciate you, bro. Sports ball and all that.
KD Trey.
But yeah, basically, O'Shea Jackson is the coach in this movie, and it's about how.
Is it a TV show or a movie?
Why did I say movie? It's a series.
You've done that multiple times now. And I'm just trying to get like clear.
Have I?
Yeah, you did it earlier, and I think I corrected you already once.
All right, well, keep doing it. I might fall off.
Okay. I mean, this just speaks to the quality of the Apple product. It seems like
really
it's a movie.
is. It just feels like a longer movie. But basically, he's the coach coaching this middle school kid that's on the fast track to the NBA.
Okay.
He's like ranked top in the state or the nation. I forget what it was initially. And then it carries on to the second season where he's in his high school years. And right now I'm waiting for a third season. Like it's gonna keep going, and it's been a very intriguing show.
Now, are you going to extend your subscription?
I've already decided, especially after looking at the price. This free trial is going to get my money.
Okay. Good for them.
So what I've noticed is there's consistency and quality throughout all the different shows and movies that I've watched so far, right? Like they all seem pretty good, right? They all seem solid. None of them seem like throwaway shows. And then on top of that, this shit is only $6.99 a month. Yeah. Versus we just talked about Netflix going to what, $24 a month? Like fuck that.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy.
So like I was like, I get all this at this value. Like this might be the best valued streaming platform out right now.
Really quick with Netflix, if they gave you a yearly rate, would you be more enticed? If they just said like,
it depends what the discounted rate is. If they gave me a year for $70,
no, it'd have
to be fuck out.
If they're charging you $23 a month, Dante, why would they give you a year for $70?
Because I'm not paying $200 for a year. Maybe that's why they don't offer a yearly option. You're gonna pay $200 a year for a streaming service?
How much do I pay for a year if I have right now 23? If I keep my
it doesn't matter up front.
Yes, I would. Because I'm not getting rid of the subscription. So if it's $23 a month,
so then you're getting the discount on the back end, anyways. I get it. I get your logic. I'm sorry to contest you on that, right? But like at the same time, I don't see the value in paying that much for Netflix.
I think it's absurd. Don't get me wrong. But that's the reality of the situation that we're in right now. 12 months of the year, $24.
I think the thing that pisses me off even more is that Netflix can still say they have a $9 option, their ads option, right? And I'd be fine with ads.
I think that's going up to 11.
No, that one's not going up.
Okay.
But I'd be fine with ads.
But it's standard definition.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's criminal.
Are you fucking kidding me?
That's the part that is criminal.
Like, why are you gatekeeping 4K? No other service does that.
Yeah.
I can go on YouTube and watch 4K for free.
Somebody else does that.
Who else?
Maybe they don't gatekeep it, but I feel like Disney does something similar to that.
No, because it's a single subscription.
I know Disney, you can toggle on and off 4K.
But it's
maybe
not
that's
a tiered subscription, though.
Like,
yeah, it might be like a settings thing.
Okay. I feel like one other streaming service does have a 4K tier.
Another weird thing I want to say about this show I was talking about, though, Swagger, is this is the first time in a while that I was reminded we did just come through a pandemic. Because it's very clear that first season was being filmed during the beginning of the pandemic. Because, like, they just keep alluding to, like, oh, like, you hear the tolls are going up. Oh, like, they're saying, like, this might get serious. And then it just goes to like a 6-month time jump, and it's like, yeah, nah, we're all masked up. Shit's real. But then at some point, it just became like a martyr for the BLM movement.
Yeah, I think I wonder if shows are going to look back and regret that stuff, because it dates your product a bit.
I mean, as far as the COVID stuff, definitely. And I mean, like, they came on very strong with the BLM stuff, and it almost felt like propaganda initially, but like they toned it back a little bit, but still kept the elements, and I think it came out to be a really good product come season 2.
Oh, okay. Anything else?
And then I had 2 other movies I watched on Apple TV as well.
Okay.
So I watched a movie called Ghosted. I was about to say a show. Why am I mixing these up?
Was this good? This is Chris Evans and
Anna de Armas.
Yeah, he actually said that he feels like they didn't do a good enough job.
Really?
Because nobody really watched it. It wasn't well received.
So, I mean, I had never heard of it before I watched it. You know what I mean? Like, I just found it just scrolling through, being like, oh, what's on here? And I enjoyed it. It's like a romantic action movie, I guess.
Yeah. That's one I want to watch because, again, like I said a few minutes ago, like, not a lot of rom-com stuff that comes out that's, like, mainstream level.
And also, for me, it was another action movie with a female lead. I love those.
I don't think that's available anywhere else other than Apple TV.
That might be an Apple TV exclusive, yeah.
Like, I think that I assumed it would come out eventually.
Why am I searching on here? Does this tell me where to stream?
Yeah, it should.
Only says watch on Apple TV.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
And then the other movie I watched was The Banker, Anthony Mackie and Samuel L. Jackson.
Is this like Inside Job?
No.
Or Inside Man?
So this one is set in the 60s. So it's more about the struggle of a black man trying to be successful. So basically the whole premise is Anthony Mackie's character wants to get into buying up commercial real estate. But because he's black, they basically won't let him. So he has Samuel L. Jackson's character who is wealthy through inheritance to be an investor. And then he has, I forget the other guy's name, that he had be basically like his face. It was a white guy to like facilitate the sales for them. I'm probably not giving it the best synopsis, but it was a really good movie.
Are you a Mackie guy now?
I think I'm a big Anthony Mackie fan now.
Coming off Twisted Metal and
like everything. I basically haven't seen him disappoint me yet.
He's a good actor.
Yeah. Just to give you the synopsis in case I didn't give you a good enough idea. In the 60s, 2 African-American entrepreneurs hire a working-class white man to pretend to be the head of their business while they pose as a janitor and chauffeur.
And who is the white guy?
Why is it not giving me... Oh, Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah, okay, I like him. Played Beast in X-Men.
Yeah, no. This was a really good movie. And thus summarizing my run of Apple TV+.
So we're going to keep... Is there anything like on the agenda next?
I know I added a few things to my like up next to watch list. I can't remember off the top of my head what they are.
I'm trying to remember the Anthony Mackie movie that I liked. That was with him and Zac Efron. Maybe he's not in
Zac Efron.
Maybe I'm wrong. Like he was like a secondary character in a rom-com at some point. I don't see it anywhere, so maybe I was just...
He was actually a cameo in that movie Ghosted.
That makes sense. The Night Before is a good one with him and Seth Rogen. Him and Chris Evans did another movie together, apparently, called Playing It Cool. Yeah, I must be thinking of this is just me being racist, so I'll just leave it.
Okay. Wow.
Just like it's just another black dude that I think it is in the...
I knew where you were going with that. You didn't have to go there.
Now I have to know who I confused it with, though.
On other services, I've also watched Totally Killer on Prime Video.
You
talked about that one. I watched it, yeah.
How'd we feel?
I thought it was cheesy, yet surprisingly good.
It's Michael B. Jordan.
Yo, come on, man. You confuse him with the most notable black actor in Hollywood?
Brother, I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, totally killer. You enjoyed it?
No, I definitely enjoyed it. Yeah.
Did you like the kind of like humor to it?
Yeah, I love the like. Oh, you can't say that. You can't do that.
Yeah, like her going back in time. Yeah, I thought that was fun. Anything else?
I also watched They Live on Tubi.
The old movie They Live?
Yeah.
Okay.
The old John Carpenter film.
Mm-hmm. What brought that about? Just because it's Halloween time, or?
I think I was trying to find a new podcast and ended up going to some podcast. I can't even remember which one that was talking about the movie, and I was just like, "Damn, that sounds interesting."
You like it?
Yeah, I did actually.
John Carpenter's a great director.
Yeah, they were actually talking about his movie specifically, but they landed on this one for a long topic of a discussion. And I think I might want to check out his other stuff because I don't think I've actually seen like Escape from New York, and
I love Escape from New York.
Yeah,
it's great. LA's good too.
Yeah.
This is crazy because you've never had this much that you've watched ever.
I also still have XXX Return of Xander Cage as well.
Oh my god. Did it live up for you?
I like that years later they can still keep the same formula and it works.
Yeah, that
fun.
movie, like it starts with him like just like skateboarding down a giant like mountain. Yeah,
I was like, oh, this is just equally as ridiculous as the old movies, and I love it.
Yeah, it's a good one. You watched a lot, dude.
Like,
I know, especially because you're the guy who comes in with nothing 90% of the time. So like,
yeah, like I could go a whole week with watching nothing. So the fact that you gave me 2 weeks and I watched like 15 different things,
brother, I just gave you a 25-minute segment. like you just cooked.
I actually missed one.
Oh my god.
I also watched Zoe 102.
Oh, the whole thing?
So once I realized it's not a series, it's just a movie.
Ah, okay.
And it's basically just a rom-com.
Is it bad?
I can't remember.
That's okay. Then we're done. Yeah, like what the fuck? You could have kept that one. Jesus. Okay.
It was all right.
I didn't watch a lot. I actually didn't really watch anything that's all that notable for me to talk about. I've been watching the 100. I've binged 5 out of the 7 seasons already. I skipped season 1. Watched seasons 2 through 6 so far, and I'm on to season 7 all in the past week. Show I've seen before, highly recommended. I don't really need to get too far into that one. I today started watching, funny enough, you brought up Zoe 102. I'm watching Girl Meets World.
Oh, I thought you were going to say iCarly.
No, I'm watching Girl Meets World currently.
Okay.
And I'm realizing that I've seen almost the whole show through TikTok already. Because I'm just like watching episodes and I'm like, I've already seen this part. Yeah. So, but that's props to TikTok for getting me into a show enough that I just
TikTok basically gave you the abridged version.
Yeah, that got me to watch it. We had the end of the Daryl Dixon show, which was great. It teased the return of Carol, so that was really fun. I'm excited for season 2. They're already working on it. I think you're either going to get it late 2024. I think that's the plan, is late 2024. So I'll be really, really looking forward to that. They finished really strong. It's probably, I'm torn. Like they've had 2 spinoffs so far in the lead up to the Rick and Michonne show that starts in February. And I'm torn. I liked the Dead City a lot with Negan and Maggie, but this is probably the better of the 2 original series as a whole, just because it's a little more original, a little more separate from the main story arc. And just felt like the same but different vibe. So I enjoyed that, and it introduced a lot of new characters, and mostly likable ones too.
I got a question for you.
What's up?
How do you get to watch all that other shit when you're stuck binging a show? Like, you're watching through the 100 right now. When I do that, I can't break away from the show.
But it's like singular episodes, because this is one of the few things that I'm watching one episode at a time.
Okay.
So as opposed to like I'll normally, like with Loki, I'm not watching it. I'm gonna just wait
until it's all done.
Yeah, and watch it. Or I'm gonna wait probably another 2 weeks or something to have like a large amount to watch all at once. But with the Walking Dead stuff, I have been watching week by week when it comes out. Okay. So it's a little easier to just like maybe Tuesday morning I wake up and I just watch that episode, or like Sunday night when I'm going to bed. Like, so for instance, Fear the Walking Dead, because last week was the end of the Daryl Dixon show. Fear the Walking Dead's final season just started this week. So last night when I got home, I watched the first episode of the last season of that show. And that was fun. I mean, like, the Fear of the Walking Dead's probably the worst of like all the Walking Dead stuff, but I've grown to kind of love it. And I'm excited because I want to see them bring back one of the main characters that is not confirmed to come back in the final season, but I almost feel like they have to. And I want to see that kind of play out. And just seeing, like, that's another show that went through a time jump and a lot of separation, so you're seeing some characters come together again that haven't seen each other in a long time, so that's also interesting. The other thing with me with the Walking Dead stuff is just seeing it all build up to the show's finally like merging, hopefully at some point, and seeing what characters they're going to keep from their individual shows to then bring into the bigger world.
Are they all being told from the same timeline or for separate points in the timeline?
I mean, it's all going to merge to one point in the timeline.
Okay.
Like the time jumps are all going to align essentially. Like the Fear of the Walking Dead has done time jumps. Walking Dead has done time jumps. Like, they've all kind of done it at this point.
And they're all just going to align at some point in the future kind of thing?
Yeah, and I don't know to what level or what scale.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's all... I think what you're going to get is... I mean, they have... You still have to get Daryl back from Europe. So, like, they have to do season 2 still of that. Rick and Michonne's show is the one I'm definitely most looking forward to. They just put Andrew Lincoln back as the picture on IMDb for the first time in, like 6 years, because he's been off the show for so long. So seeing him come back as Rick is going to be like, I won't shut up.
Oh, that's
that,
Rick.
probably.
Okay.
Yeah, like
I know that's like everybody's favorite character, right?
He's the main character, and he left the show after like season 8, and so it's been like 4 or 5 years now that he hasn't played the character, and he hasn't really done much else of anything. So it's just like that's probably like that's going to be huge. Like, I'm very excited for February. That's where it's like, I like Fear the Walking Dead, but it's kind of just holding me over. Get through like the 8 episodes left in that show to get to...
Just getting your fix.
Yeah, to get to that.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to talk about, I got an email today from AMC, and it kind of goes along with my like what's coming out. I bought, or like I didn't buy it because I guess the ticket's free, mystery early movie release.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So I don't know what movie I got a ticket to.
But that's the thing you consciously went in and bought?
It's like they sent me an email and it was like, hey, like we have an early screening of a movie. And I was like, I thought if I clicked on the link, or it wasn't an email, I got a notification, a push notification for it. And it's for November 6th. And it just says the movie's going to be rated PG-13. This is the date it's out. Nothing else.
You know what, man?
Yeah.
I'm honestly kind of jealous because I'm an A-list member and I don't remember getting that notification.
I feel like maybe you can just go in and search it though. Like it might just be in like the coming soon. Here's my hope. I'm hoping that I got a ticket to the Hunger Games. The bummer is they're only doing it in Braintree, not in South Bay.
So it better not be a good movie.
But I don't care. Like I want to, like if it's the Hunger Games, I'm going to be very happy. If it's anything else, that sucks. Because there's not like, I can't think of anything else that I'm like, oh, that's coming out mid-November that I'm super excited for. But to me, Hunger Games makes a lot of sense to do an early release of. It's also going to be rated PG-13, so I think it adds up that that's the movie it's going to be. So I'm excited for it. But I was wondering this for the people out there, and you can answer as the people for the moment, Dante. Would you go to a movie every month that they didn't tell you what movie it was going to be playing, and it not being an early release, not being something that's planned to be in the movie theater? Maybe it's something that's a throwback movie that's just going to be in the movie theater for a week.
So I'd be cool with that with one caveat.
What?
I'd need them to tell me the genre. I want to be mentally prepared for it.
I think I like the idea of it just being a mystery and you don't know until the movie starts.
I guess I don't really love surprises, so that's where I'm like, I want to have like some allure to kind of figure out what I might be expecting. You know what I mean?
Nah, dude. Because like I think you're going in blank slate and just finding out if you like something, like your most genuine reaction to whether or not you like this movie or not knowing what it's going to be. You might find you like things that you never would have seen.
I wish I could have got a fucking mystery ticket. I don't see the option for it in here.
Yeah, I just got a push notification. It was like early screening for mystery movie.
I just don't like that you're somehow more A-list than I am, that you get this notification and I don't.
I mean, I've seen 30 movies this year.
I've seen probably about that much.
22.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, actually, you know what? According to AMC, I've probably seen more than that because the amount of times I've bought multiple tickets because I didn't go.
Oh my god!
Holy shit! Sorry, I just went to my rewards page and didn't realize how many I racked up.
Oh, you got a lot banked?
Yeah.
You're gonna be eating free for a little while.
I have $30 banked.
Yeah, you gotta be getting some. You have at least 2 free trips, dude.
Yeah.
Popcorn and drink.
Yeah, that's always like $16.
Yeah. Let me know out there if you'd be interested in like a mystery movie night at the movie theater, and if that would be something that's enticing. I wonder if they did stuff like that, and like they rolled back like movies from like we talked about Cradle to the Grave earlier. Like, you just go to a movie theater and they randomly play Cradle to the Grave, like, 1 month.
I would fucking love that.
That's what I mean. Like,
I love
how
that movie.
Fucking awesome would that be?
Give me a double feature. Give me Cradle to the Grave and Romeo Must Die.
Yeah, that is a double feature you can literally buy on Vudu.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
You can buy them together.
That's sick.
Yeah, I think that that's a really cool idea for the movie theater. And as far as, like, needing to do stuff to get people back into the theater, I feel like that's a fun idea to kind of roll with. And you could get some people to do it. Like mystery box movie.
We got to get you into the AMC board meetings.
Yeah, I mean, they're the ones who kind of gave me the idea, so they don't need me. They just need to do more
They need you to drive it home.
I mean, it's kind of what we're talking about with like the Hollywood thing with like changing names, though. It's like I think that people like ourselves who do go, like at the end of this year, I'm going to have spent, if it's a 52-week year, right? 35 of those weeks of this year, I would have gone to the movies.
Yeah.
You know, like more than half of this year, I will have spent in at least one day in the movie theater. So I think that I am a demographic that they should probably talk to.
Yeah.
Not me specifically. I don't have that much of an ego. It'd be nice, but like they should send out surveys to people like us, you know, for feedback and actually take it. That's all I've got. No movies on the agenda. Like Five Nights at Freddy doesn't really do a ton for me. I might go see it. John Cena has a movie coming out this weekend. That seems kind of interesting. I also think Five Nights at Freddy is going to be on Peacock this weekend as well. It's not just coming out in the movie theater.
Really?
Yes. So you can watch it
What's the
way.
point of releasing it in theaters if you're going to release it as streaming at the same time?
Because me and you both know that there is an experiential difference between the movie theater and watching at home.
Yeah, but I think for a kids movie, that's going to stunt the box office.
Is it a kids movie, though, or is it a horror movie?
Isn't Five Nights at Freddy's a kids thing?
It looks pretty scary for a kids movie. Not like I'm going to be scared. I'm not a big pussy. But...
I'm going on Friday to see it with my 3 younger cousins.
Yeah, it's supposed to be scary.
I don't think so.
All right, I'm not going 2 hours.
I think this is like a Are You Afraid of the Dark Nickelodeon kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Okay, but that was scary for scary. That was scary for us at that age.
Yeah, it terrified me actually.
So,
but
Goosebumps.
That's not saying much. I was also scared of Michael Jackson's Thriller music video. So,
giant pussy. Goosebumps on Disney Plus. I have not watched it yet, but I've heard good things. All right, I'm not letting this podcast go 2 hours because Dante is going to talk about Five Nights at Freddy. I'm not going to talk about it. Happen. No, what's the genres, and we'll move on.
No. You guys do your own research.
Horror, mystery, thriller.
No. You guys do your own research.
Yeah. So we fucking know that I was right.
The 4th genre is kids.
It's just not listed there.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for being here as always. We appreciate you. If you could, I really need to do this earlier in the podcast as opposed to the 2-hour mark, but give us a like, comment, share, subscribe, tell a friend, ask a friend. We're anywhere podcasts can be found on the interwebs. We're trying to get to 100 followers, so please help us with that. We're so close. And this has been the longest grind ever. So if you could just get us there, we'd really
on that grizzy on that
it.
grind.
I'm going to get back to streaming games. I'm upgrading some of my stuff this week, so I do plan to be back on there. I've taken about a week and a half off. You can find Dante everywhere that video gaming is played, not that he does it. Dirty Water ENT. He also hasn't put a video out on his YouTube in 7 months, but still follow him. It's like great content.
I think after that first video, I just realized how much work goes into it, and I kind of...
people don't appreciate that. I kind of
deterred myself.
This stuff is a part-time job to a point. If you want, I will always have immense respect for the people who are able to grow their channels, because I know the reasons that we at times have struggled to grow this is because of the time that you have to put into the extra work. This is fun. this part of the job is fun, right? Like
It's
sitting
the
down
after,
and shooting the shit.
behind
It's
the scenes.
Yeah, it's the actual work that goes into editing and cutting clips and things like that. That's the stuff that grows your channel, but that's the real work. So I appreciate anybody who puts the time into that stuff and really dedicates it, where I slack, at least personally.
I'm just trying to get to the point where we can hire somebody to do that.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's a long way off. And
well,
look,
if you guys subscribe, you
yeah,
can help us.
yeah,
get
you
there.
can help us be lazy as fuck, and just do the fun parts.
We're just trying to earn the right to be lazy. That's all.
Yeah, let us get there, please. Please help us. Cool. Got some surprises ahead, hopefully. But otherwise, as always, we love you. Peace out.
Peace.
Hit him with that shotgun.
Every damn week, I gotta sync up.
For those with good taste.